Hello Physical Fiends, it's Jordan here again with a nice update on some new physical game announcements. As always, these are new announcements, these are not releasing this week. I didn't do one of these videos last week, so these announcements are from the past couple of weeks. Tomb Raider Remastered is obviously the big one. I made a whole video about it because I was so excited. So if you want the full details, go watch that. But I'll just quickly say that the standard and collector's edition will be available at retail in both Europe and North America on Switch, PS4 and PS5. But the Xbox version is exclusive to limited run games. There is also a super collector's edition that is also exclusive to limited run games. But that's like $200. But if you just want the normal release, like normal people like myself, do me a massive favor, click the links down below in the pinned comment and the description, because VGP is a fantastic way to support me, and they're a really nice company with favorable Canadian money. They do reprints of rare games and ship for free worldwide if you purchase over 80 Canadian dollars worth of stuff. That's about 60 American dollars, not that much. Plus, if you do, you can be in with a chance of winning a $10 discount coupon each week, the winner of which I announce over on Switch Watch every Monday, and I thank you kindly for your support. What else has been announced? Well, Yars Rising is a new game in the Yars series, and it's a side-scrolling Metroidvania? Like, what? Made by WayForward? What kind of universe have we crossed into? I mean, WayForward doesn't always mean quality, especially when it comes to them being paid by another publisher, and this does look super stiff. I have zero confidence in WayForward making a good game that they're not emotionally invested in. And can we please stop with the Valley Girl voice acting? It's horrendous. It's like a cheese grater on my face.
Unlocking the mysteries of this corporate empire in Yars Rising. Launching on the Nintendo Switch system later this year.
Fabledom is a whimsical city building game that's releasing physically on Switch and PS5 later this year. Collect resources, trade or invade. Maybe I'm just guessing that part. It looks like a cute time. Reminds me a little bit of like Little King's Story on the Wii, remember that? Needy Streamer Overload has lost its relevance as an import exclusive game since now it's getting a release in North America with its pansy name. Yeah, this game is also known as Needy Girl Overdose, but they had to change girl to streamer and overdose to overload. I get it, but it still annoys the shit out of me. Anyways, it's supposed to be a good game. If you like Doki Doki Literature Club, I've heard this'll fit in nicely. There is a standard edition as well as a huge collector's edition in November. Master Detective Archives Raincode Plus is getting a physical release on the PlayStation 5 this October. This was once a Switch exclusive game, but one would imagine that this is going to be, prettier, smoother, and everything else that comes with more powerful hardware. If you want some Danganronpa goodness, this should be a good one for you. Frog Detective is coming to Switch sometime this year. This is from Fangamer, so it's going to be a bit pastel-y in its art style. You can tell Fangamer have a preference. This package contains all 3 episodes of a very highly rated adventure game. Dead End City is getting a physical release in Europe thanks to Red Arc Games on both Switch and PlayStation 5. This is a vertical shooter on wheels. Looks like an authentic old school arcade game, could sit nicely alongside many of the classics, and reviews seem pretty positive about it. As always with Red Arc Games, there's a standard edition as well as a deluxe edition that's exclusive to their website, redarcgames.com, and you can get 10% off that with the code SWATCH10. Gigantosaurus Dino Sports is another outright game special releasing on Switch, PlayStation 4, PS5 and Xbox at the end of June. It looks like a simple minigames collection thing, probably very harmless but not something most of us will be picking up unless you've got kids. The Doinksoft Collection is releasing on Switch at the end of August, and this contains 3 games, 2 of which have physical releases already. Gato Roboto was special reserve, as was Demon Throttle, but that's been hoard all over the place by now despite it being marketed as a physical only game. The FOMO was strong with this one, while your FOMO was misguided. If you don't have any of these, it's nice they're getting a wider release, although I'm sure some of you will be a bit annoyed that it's so cheap compared to special reserves releases. But the main interesting game is Gunbrella, which is making its physical debut here. Cocoon is getting a physical release on PS5 and Switch. You can get this from I Am 8-Bit's website. Should also be getting a retail release as well. This is a puzzle adventure game and supposedly incredibly good. Assassin's Creed Shadows is releasing physically on PlayStation 5 and Xbox, now set in Japan. This has, shall we say, garnered a bit of controversy and backlash around it by, well, I see just being another Assassin's Creed game. That would send anybody over the edge. Technically competent, needlessly bloated, and will sell tens of millions of copies, and will be discounted to like 80% in like 2 weeks after release. Indika is getting a physical release on PlayStation 5. It's about a nun in 17th century Russia. I saw a movie with the same premise once, but I had to verify my age before it would let me on the website. This is a narrative-driven adventure game with some puzzle elements and weirdness. I mean, just look at the box art. It's releasing later this year. Alright, let's jump into some import announcements. The links below for these ones are for Play Asia, and if you click the link and purchase something, you can also get 5% off with the code Jordan24. Blue Fire is getting a physical release on Switch in Japan. This already has a Western physical release, but why am I mentioning it? Well, because this probably has a more updated cartridge compared to the West. You know, this game got a few updates, including free DLC, which I would assume will be on the cartridge, so maybe something to think about. The Town of Nie is releasing on Switch. This is a new BL visual novel, meaning dude on dude action, if you're into that sort of thing. This will be the first time it's officially in English, and from what I've seen from the VN fanbase, it's supposed to be pretty good. Umamusume, Pretty Derby Dash Party Dash, I don't know what I'm saying, is getting a physical release in Japan and Asian regions. It's not 100% certain about the Japanese version having English, but the Asian version definitely does. This is a minigame compilation, but unlike the other losers out there, this one's got pixel anime girls in it, which instantly makes it the winner. This is releasing in August. Apsulov, End of Gods is getting a physical release on Switch in Asia this summer. Perfect horror game time? I don't know. Oh, and this is a Norse horror game and looks pretty good, but we'll have to see how it runs on the Switch. Could be a decent one, and I also wouldn't be surprised to see this get a physical release at least in Europe at some point. For some reason, we always get these weird Scandinavian horror things. Card-en-Ciel is another import exclusive from Indika. Jesus, these guys just don't stop. And this is basically Mega Man Battle Network, which will make a lot of people happy. Of course, it has cards in it, so I couldn't give a shit. But visually, it's looking fine with dungeon, exploration, battle, story. The Japanese release has not been confirmed to have English as of yet, but pretty much every Indika game has English no matter what, so yeah, I would assume it's going to have English. There is a standard edition, as well as a collector's edition, which comes with an art book, soundtrack CD, and acrylic keychain. This could get a Western physical release in the future, but it's unknown right now. And now for something completely different. Have you ever wanted a Dance Dance Revolution arcade machine that you could fit in your backpack? Well, it is coming, ladies and gentlemen. A tiny little unit you can use your fingers on or plug in a proper mat. You can play it on the tiny machine screen or hook it up to a TV. This is something I didn't know I needed, but I do. It's $350, so of course I can't buy it, but a man can dream. It has 40 odd songs from the first, second, and third mix of games in the series, and it's releasing in September. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, a few new announcements from the past couple of weeks. Please let me know which new announcement has taken your fancy, and if you would like to pre-order them, then consider using the links down below in the description and pinned comment. That really helps me out a lot. I very much appreciate your support, and I hope you're all having a magnificent weekend. Did you have a good one? I hope so.